purpose of this video is to demonstrate how the Polyarc reactor can seamlessly integrate into existing Agilent 68 or 7890 gas chromatographs to improve your current analyses. Please note, the Polyarc is universally compatible across all GC types, so reach out to Activated Research Company to further discuss alternative GC configurations. Once you have received your Polyarc, be sure to carefully unpack the reactor and contact Activated Research Company if anything is missing. For this installation, we will assume one of the two detector positions is available. Start by removing the aluminum cap and take out any insulation. This should expose an opening resembling a keyhole. The Polyarc can also be placed in many locations on top of the GC oven. All that is needed is a 1-inch diameter transfer line into the GC oven. If your detector ports are full, please contact Activated Research Company to determine how to incorporate the Polyarc into your GC configuration. Remove the blue capillary guard from the Polyarc, bending the guard away from the capillaries. Carefully feed the two Polyarc capillaries through the opening, making sure they do not bend. Be careful not to pinch the capillary lines when inserting the reactor. Here is the view of the Polyarc capillary insertion from inside of the GC oven. Secure the enclosure to the top of the GC oven using a T15 Torx driver and the provided screws. Once the enclosure is attached, connect the reactor heater assembly to your GC. In order to do this, you will have to remove the side cover of the GC. Thread the heater assembly from the Polyarc through an opening in your GC so it can reach the aux heater on the side. If you do not have an existing cable assembly, you may purchase a custom cable assembly from Activated Research Company. If you do have an existing cable assembly with either A1 or A2 positions open on the side of the GC, connect the Polyarc heater assembly directly to either A1 or A2. In this case, your configuration may look similar to the following picture. If both ports are full, you will need to make one available, or purchase a PID heater controller from Activated Research Company to supply the heat to the Polyarc. Then close and fasten the side cover of the GC. There are multiple options for flow control. Electronic, manual, and aux EPC are the most common. Your flow control option will be specified during purchase. This installation will assume an electronic flow control, as this is the recommended choice due to its increased stability, lack of drift, and no need to calibrate. Remove the plugs to the air and hydrogen gas lines on the Polyarc. Continue to connect the air and hydrogen inlets on the Polyarc to the corresponding outlets from the flow control. Now that the air and hydrogen are successfully connected to the Polyarc, we will connect the reactor outlet to the FID and the reactor inlet to the capillary column. Remove the plastic coverings on the Polyarc inlet and outlet that were included during shipping. We will first feed the Polyarc outlet into the FID. The Polyarc outlet is the larger ID of the two capillary columns. Remove the existing capillary column from the FID and save the nut to reuse in the following steps. Place the larger metal capillary column from the Polyarc through the saved FID nut and through the provided 0.8 mm graphite ferrule. Using a ceramic scribe, trim at least 1 inch of the tubing to remove any debris. Remove any excess tubing which is not needed to reach the FID to minimize dead volume. Insert the column into the FID jet until it stops. Then pull the column out about 1 to 2 millimeters. You may need to gently move the column around to find the FID jet. You will determine its location when you feel some resistance as you push in the column. Finally, tighten the nut and ferrule to the FID. We will now connect the Polyarc inlet to your existing capillary column. The Polyarc inlet is the smaller of the two capillary columns and is already fitted with a column nut, ferrule, and zero dead volume union. Pass your existing GC capillary column through the supplied column nut and metal ferrule. Using a ceramic scribe, trim 1 to 2 inches to remove debris. Tighten the column into the zero dead volume union. You will need to keep constant pressure when swaging to the zero dead volume union. Swage the ferrule onto the column using one of the two procedures outlined in the next slides. Your gas chromatograph is now ready to be checked for leaks, calibrated, and tested with the Polyarc reactor.